I love coming back to BU. For me, this is really where my professional career started. I came here from Arizona a long time ago, about 30 years ago, to date myself, and was studying engineering. I loved math and science. Engineering was a natural choice for me. My father was an electrical engineer, so like a lot of kids, I was following in my parents' footsteps, and loved it. And the reason I came to Boston University was that I could get a fantastic degree in engineering with wonderful faculty and also study some other things. I've always had pretty broad interests. So I studied voice at School for Arts, and I did a lot of work in different colleges around in different electives. And one of the courses I took was something called the Multinational Politics of Business. It was taught by Ishwar Ojha. For some of you faculty in the room will remember him. And it was outstanding, and it really changed my worldview. And you have to remember, this is early 80s we're talking about. So it was a time when the world was just starting to think about or even use terms like globalization. You started to see some convergence in disciplines, some crossing over the boundaries between private sector, public sector, social sector, but it was very early days. And that course really changed the way I thought about the world. And it made me realize I had this passion for technology, but I wanted to pursue it in development, and I needed to learn more about economics and politics. So I went to lunch one day. My mom was in town during spring break, and I went to Dean Padullo's house. His wife was very lovely, served us tea. And he said, you ought to think about going to Oxford. There's this thing called the Rhodes Scholarship. You could get that, and it would pay for you to do a couple years of economics and politics. And I'd never heard of this before, and I thought, oh, that sounds good. So I applied for it and was lucky enough to win, and that's what I did. And my idea was to combine technology, economics, politics, work, and development at this intersection of appropriate technology and so on. And I was all set to go off to the World Bank when I ended up going to a presentation by McKinsey. Thought, well, this is really interesting. They're actually working with multinationals who are in Africa and these other places, and I could get some experience there. So I did that for, as Dean Luchen said, more than 20 years. It was a fantastic experience. I'd say I spent about 2/3 of my time with private sector companies that were expanding around the world, taking not only technologies, but all kinds of things with them. And that was a fantastic experience. And about 1/3 of my time in the development space, so working with Gates Foundation and PEPFAR, the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, on some of the global agricultural programs, global health, and so on. And I have to say, engineering was the perfect underpinning for everything that I've done since I left BU. Served me very well, solving problems, structuring problems, figuring out where do you need technical expertise and how to work through things. And ultimately I ended up going to Walmart. I never thought I'd leave McKinsey. I thought I'd retire from McKinsey and go serve on some boards, and that would be the end of that. But I got a call, and when I looked at what the power of a company like Walmart can have in the development space, and I had seen this, through my consulting work at McKinsey on some of these global issues. I thought, well, I've been saying for a long time, private sector has a role to play in development. The private sector needs to engage in the major issues of our time. Now's a chance to actually work on it in a space that I care a lot about, which is the food system, primarily. So I'm at Walmart, and I actually have 2 jobs. I am president of the foundation, but I'm also the corporate head of sustainability. And so I oversee the teams that work on energy efficiency, water usage, fleet efficiency, and so on in our own operations, and then also in all of our supply chains. So I'm working on a lot of sustainable agricultural issues, upstream to downstream, same thing in the electronics industry, apparel industry, general merchandise, you name it, which is really my passion. So, I guess my key reflection would be a couple things. Engineering is a fantastic underpinning. Second, whatever career you choose to have, and for those of you who are alumni in the audience, wherever you're working, there is a role to play on addressing the issues of our time, and everyone's doing it in a different way. But I really do think that technical foundation is critical. So thanks for letting me be here with you today.